Well, thank you. Glad to be here again this year. Excited to play a really good Cincinnati team. Have all the respect in the world for Coach Pickle and his football program, and we'll take a healthy team in there. We've been very fortunate through camp, and awful happy that the game's at home, and looking forward to a big crowd here, and looking forward to playing a fine Cincinnati team.
We'll begin with Jordan Hill of Dogs 24/7.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. I wanted to ask you, Dan Lanning's getting ready to go through a situation just like you did 2 years ago, starting his career with a new team against Georgia. What comes to mind when you think back to that game in 2020, and what were some of the challenges like for you, coaching against your old team?
Well, at least Dan had it on the schedule. When he took the job, I didn't. I had no idea we were going to play Georgia when I took the job here until certainly, they ended up being the first game of the year through the COVID situation. But he'll be excited about it. He'll also be very nervous, I'm sure, because of the talent and the type program Georgia has. But he'll be well aware of what they do. It's just certainly how he defends it and how he wants to attack it on offense. But I'm really happy for Dan. He's a wonderful person, a great man. Kirby, I'm sure, would say the same thing. And I know he'll be really excited to. He'll want to play well, obviously, and a little extra incentive because he's playing Georgia. Obviously, he'll want to do good.
Thanks, Sam.
Next is Andrew Hutchinson of the Best of Arkansas Sports.
Hey, Sam, I was curious. I want to ask you about something we haven't asked you about in a while. Cade Renfro, he seems to be moving around well at practice. Has he been fully cleared and ready to go?
No, he has not. He hasn't been cleared yet, but for any type of contact. He's been in on scout team work, on the throws, a lot of 7-on-7 scout team work, things of that nature. But no, he hasn't been cleared yet.
Okay, and then we also saw Malik Hornsby getting some run at wide receiver yesterday at practice. Is that still something y'all are kind of planning on having in your tool belt for this weekend and this season?
I don't. Are we advertising for Cincinnati or we certainly have used him out there all year, and that's obviously a possibility that he plays out there.
Thanks.
Next is Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Sam, I know one of the off-season focuses was getting the opposing offenses behind the chains more. How do you feel what you saw in spring and through camp that you guys might be equipped to do that?
Well, I think, we have an opportunity to be multiple. I think that helps us. We were better last year than we were the year before. I think it's going to be very difficult to get Cincinnati behind the chains simply because they return all 5 of their starters. They've really got, the guy I hadn't talked about a lot is they've really got a wonderful tight end, a couple of them actually. So I anticipate them trying to, they're kind of a go-at-you physical football team, and I anticipate that they'll test those waters early. However, I think we can be a little more multiple than what we were last year, and that's the plan. Certainly, hopefully, give them different looks that might be difficult and get them behind the chains. Certainly need to.
Okay, and then the pass rush in general. You feel like you got the personnel, the schemes that you're going to be able to generate some heat, even if just bringing 4?
I'm not for sure that we have yet a proven defensive end that you just go, wow, we're going to have to double him, we're going to have to chip him, those things. That's yet to be determined. However, I do think we have some inside guys who can push the pocket, and they can push the pocket outside to our defensive end. So I think pass rush, a lot of times you think of it as defensive ends beating edge guys at tackle, but it's really, there's a lot more to it. I think you have to push the middle of the pocket. And obviously Cincinnati's really good inside there as well. But I feel like we've got a little bit more quick twitch, a little bit more opportunity to push the pocket through the middle than we had a year ago.
Next up will be Mike Griffith of AJC Dog Nation.
Hey, Coach. Appreciate you doing this always. I looked at the Arkansas depth chart, and I saw a familiar name out there at wide receiver. Matt Landers looks like he's making a pretty big comeback. Can you share his story and what he's done at Arkansas for you in fall camp?
Yeah, obviously I knew Matt when I was fortunate to be the offensive line coach there at Georgia, and obviously had a lot of speed, talent, height, very about 6'5", and could really run. Went to Toledo, found out he was in the portal, went after him. Certainly he's changed his body. He's matured, catching the ball really well, fast. I really like him. Can't wait to see what he's able to do on Saturday. But we're really fortunate that he chose us, and we think he's going to have a really good year for us.
Coach, I remember Kirby said that this was a guy that did a lot of good things in practice. I guess you were at a lot of those practices behind closed doors. Exactly, when you talk about Matt's skills, what do you think we're going to see?
Well, he's fast, and when he was younger, he wasn't catching the ball like he is now, and that happens a lot of times with young receivers. He's matured off the field as well. I mean, it wasn't a problem. I'm just saying he's gotten older, understands how to handle difficult situations, things of that nature. But he runs very good routes, very fast, and he's catching the ball well. So he's certainly one of our deep threats for us, and we hope to exploit that his talent that way.
Next we'll go to Steve Moulton on WZZN.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well this morning.
Sure.
I was hoping you could speak on Trey Knox and the development you've seen at him going from wide receiver to tight end for you, Coach.
Yeah, I think there's an added 20, 25 pounds of muscle. Trey's always been a willing blocker when he was playing wide receiver. I think his skills have certainly improved there as a blocker. We know he can catch and run routes. He gives us a little bit more of an advantage than what we had in the past because of his speed at tight end. But he's bought into that. He's bought into the physicality of that. And we always knew he could run and catch. But he's always, like I said before, he's always been a willing blocker. But now with his added size and strength, I think he can be a very good blocker in at the tight end spot. So I've really been impressed with him, the way that, a lot of times guys will move from wide receiver to tight end and not accept that role. And he certainly has, and he knows the importance that he has on our football team. And he's bought in. I'm real proud of him for that.
And, Coach, I heard the press conference earlier this week, so I've got to ask. So post-game party, will it consist of iced tea or liquor?
Well, what I meant on that was simply that you got to find out. For instance, we went to LSU last year and they cover zeroed us, and they came after us. They were bringing moonshine. It wasn't just liquor. And so you got to fill out a little bit both offensively and defensively what we're going to do, what they're going to do. And then you've got to certainly fix those problems that you might have before halftime. And so to answer your question, I like iced tea with a lot of sugar in it, and I like a little bit of brown water too. So we'll just have to figure out how we feel.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, thank you for your time.
All right, thanks, guys.